Hey teammates, welcome back to another Teaching with Tania video. I'm so glad you're here because this video is a little different. I am talking about teacher routines and rhythms that have nothing to do with teaching, I feel like, but they make you a better teacher. So to celebrate my 1,000 subscribers, I came to my favorite place, Cinnaholic, and I'm about to go get a massage. And on the weekends, I basically just like to take care of myself as a teacher and spoil myself because I'm on such a routine and regimen throughout the week. And so why not treat myself? Cheers to 1,000 subscribers. I will be doing a question and answer soon, so if you have any questions, comments, or anything you want me to answer down below, I'll let you do that for you guys. But I'm about to enjoy my Cinnaholic and then go to my massage. Guys, I just left the best massage ever. This is a reminder to take care of yourself because I feel like a whole new person on me to be at. Alright, so in the last clip you saw me go get the best massage ever. When I tell you guys, investing in yourself, it's like nothing better you can do because now I feel rejuvenated, relaxed. I feel like I can go run a marathon, to be honest, because when it comes down to it, Monday through Friday, I'm like in full teacher grad student mode. But on Saturdays and Sundays, I'm pouring back into myself basically everything that I depleted, all my energy from telling kids to sit down, be quiet, and just teaching my heart out all week. It's important to, on the weekends, I try my best. Now, I don't do this every weekend, maybe one or two things, but today, all of my self-care activities just end up being on the same weekend. So here we are. I went ahead to Cinnaholic to, I'm gonna tell you guys, that was so good to celebrate me. As you guys know, I like to celebrate the big ones and the small ones. So I went there and then I already had my appointment lined up for this day. And so I got a firm massage. I've never gotten a firm massage. Usually I do like light to medium, but I just knew today I needed firm. And it was just the best decision ever because I have so much like stress or like knots in my neck. You should just go get a massage. It felt amazing. But some other routines and rhythms that I like to do outside of like spending money, just making sure like I take care of myself, is journaling. If you haven't seen me journal before, then you're probably new here, but I love to journal because it helps me get my thoughts out. Because usually all day you're having conversations in your head with yourself or with children. Few adults, but it's important to journal and just get your thoughts out on paper. And sometimes you can realize like the positive thought patterns or the negative thought patterns, and even see ways that you could be better next week or tomorrow, you know? Another routine I try to do daily is go ahead and do my devos or pray, just to make sure that my head is in the right space. And in the world, you can get caught up on all the negative and things like that, but it just shows that we're all here for a higher purpose. For a bigger purpose, bigger than ourselves. I know our society tells us focus on yourself, focus on yourself. Sometimes our society just yells that or says it to us directly or indirectly, but we're all here to like help each other out, to serve in different ways and ultimately glorify his kingdom. So making sure that my head is in the right space definitely helps with that. And you can have your quiet time, your devotion time, your prayer time, like that may look different to you, but making sure that I have that rhythm helps me a lot as an educator. The next routine I like to implement is go get my nails done. Now, I'm not the best at this because my goal is to go every other week, but sometimes it is 3 to 4 weeks. Like right now, I need my nails done and I'm probably gonna go tomorrow because I have another grad assignment to do today. What's due tomorrow, but I want it done today because let me tell you, these deadlines creep up quickly. And also another thing is a schedule with time blocking. What are you gonna do when? I have found the biggest part of adulting is figuring out how you're going to use your time, because for so long, basically K through, if you went to college or K through 12, people have dictated, school has dictated your time or what you are going to be doing, what you're not going to be doing, or where you're supposed to be at a certain time. But once you get to adulthood or you're out on your own, it's like it's up to you to manage your time well. And I've been in seasons where I haven't managed my time well and it has showed. So I have realized coming into this new year, based on everything I've learned, that it's important, it's critical for me to be my best Tania, to be my best teacher. I have to be able to time block and set out specific times for specific things. So I'll show you guys my time blocking schedule here. As you can tell, I like to wake up early to make sure that I get my workouts or devos in before I go to school, which is usually around 7 o'clock, and then I could prep. Unfortunately, it is outside of contract hours from 7 o'clock to 7:45. I like to go ahead and prep for my day, but if I get there early, I usually don't have to stay late. And so a big chunk of my time is at school, but then after school, I like to literally take my teacher hat off. I like to make sure that I'm either in small groups at my church or doing things for YouTube and grad school. So that's basically what my day looks like. And of course, time to read and other things I like to do in between there, but that's far and few between, especially during Monday through Friday, the weekdays. Some other rhythm and routines that I like to do is to go ahead and meal prep. Now, this week I was actually really bad at this because I ate out this week and I got pizza for my students, and so I ended up eating pizza. But also, throughout the week, I was not eating my best this week, so I need to get back to my meal prepping, and I will go ahead and do that probably today or tomorrow. I like to use HelloFresh just to make sure like I'm getting my meals in and they don't take too much thought or effort, because I feel like that's half the battle, is going to the store and getting it and then having to cook it. So if I can go ahead and decide what I want to eat, boom, okay, cook that and I have something to eat. Making sure I am also intermittent fasting this year, so I only eat from 12 to 6. That's the goal, is to finish eating before 6 and be done. And I could drink water and stuff all day long, but intermittent fasting is something that I need to get better at sticking to, and also eating healthy meals. So to implement that teacher rhythm routine, I just make sure that during the weekends, I can go ahead and meal prep most of that stuff. Of course, things happen. I have found that once I have my meals already lined up, I'm less likely to eat out, so that's what I try to do. But also, these are just things that I like to do, so I'm just challenging you in this video to basically look at what you need to be your best self, be your best teacher, and do those things. Whether it's taking a walk, playing with your dog, having a coffee chat with friends. Like, everybody looks differently, and I don't like to label these things like self-care. Self-care has to look like this because everybody fills their cup up differently, and I want you to find and explore those things for yourself. And even if you can't do like all these things or some of these things a week, my challenge to you is at least pick 2 new things or find 2 new ways you want to take care of yourself and go ahead and implement that this week. Now, these are specifically down to what a teacher has to do to set appropriate, healthy rhythm and routines in the classroom, like more into school. Of course, you can do things outside of school to make sure that you're your best, filling yourself up before you even walk through the doors of that schoolhouse. I have had to find my teacher voice within this past year as well, because sometimes people think our jobs are unrealistic and they think that we could do any and everything. But I have realized that a word I have to start saying is no. Unfortunately, no, absolutely not. Trying in different ways. I will not do that. I'm sorry, my schedule's booked and busy. Or even telling people no outright. If people don't understand that, hey, these are my jobs as a teacher, unfortunately, admin, parents, extra staff will try to put stuff on your plate, and I've had to say no very nicely. And I'm learning the word no doesn't mean like you're being mean or anything. It just means that your plate is already full, and unfortunately you have no other commitments that you can take on right now. Fortunately, they will find another person to do it, or they will get it done themselves if it really needs to be done. But I have found that people like to put more on your plate, even though it's not your job. It's not part of your responsibilities. And unfortunately, we just have to learn to say no. Another teacher rhythm that I had to set a hard cutoff for was my teacher contract hours. Yay! Because we're contracted a day for so many hours, but because of our giving hearts and we actually want to be there and help kids, we will stay forever, especially as early career teachers. Yes, we are contracted a certain amount of time, and we all know that the teacher to-do list is never done. If you have not checked out my teacher to-do list and all the things that we are responsible for and why I feel that teachers are like leaving at a high rate, is because of all the things we have to do. So check out this video to see our teacher to-do list. And that's not just exhaustive. Like, there are other things that I didn't include in that video, but just know that as teachers, we have to do a lot. And so using our planning periods or free time that we have during those contract hours, like my students go to specials or resource, then I also have lunch. And to be honest, sometimes I do like eat lunch real quick and then get right back to work planning the next lesson for the next day. You use this time wisely as best as you can. Like, maybe 1 or 2 days out of the week, I'll go and talk to my other colleagues, but for the most part, especially now that I have to get my internship hours in, I am working nonstop during my contract hours. This is another example of a rhythm that I had to implement, was power hour. Whether it's before school, after school, or even during the chunk of time, Whatever you're willing to sacrifice. Of course, you're not obligated to stay after contract hours, but I have found that if I have an hour of no interruptions on top of like no distractions with my phone or anything like that, I can knock out a lot in 1 hour. Whenever I get done in an hour, great. If not, it's gonna have to wait. And then I touched on this earlier as well. Basically having a routine for what your weekdays will look like, or if you have like a cycle days, which your Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays will look like, which your Tuesdays and Thursdays will look like, go ahead and plan that out so that when the time comes, you're not sitting here twiddling your thumb like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this exhaustive to-do list? And then also, what do you want your weekends to be like? I feel like as teachers, we have to be really intentional about our weekends because we don't get that much time, especially if you take a day off or a personal day or something like that. Go ahead and map out what you want your ideal weekend to look like. And I have also found that this has been helpful, which is to go ahead and assign the tasks to do on certain days. For example, on Mondays or on Thursdays, I try to print out things for the week or the next week, because in the morning, you know, the printer can be crazy, or even the day of you need a paper and there's no ink, there's no paper, no toner, like it literally depends. So trying to think of those things ahead of time. Along with on Tuesdays, I like to go ahead and do like a bunch of admin work. Tuesdays and Fridays are more like grading, so that I could just grade students' paper. I might not put them in the grade book right away, but I have found that just putting the paper, grading it, and then putting it in, like that takes up a lot of time. So instead, while I'm focused, I like to be like more task oriented. Okay, I'm just grading these papers, boom, then I write down all the grades, and then I transfer it into the grade book so that on Fridays, I go ahead and see, okay, this student had this grade, or the student missed this, the student missed this. And it's more efficient for me to do that, going from the paper to the grade book to the online grade book, as opposed to just the paper to the grade book. It slows me down and it loses my train of thought. Last but not least, in your teacher routine, be sure to set boundaries for yourself. And I have had to learn this the hard way, because even though, yes, I love to teach, so much so that I will move my boundaries or move them like 1 inch here, 1 inch there. By the end of the month, I'm like, oops, I didn't do anything I wanted to do, or I wasn't intentional, or I committed to a bunch of things that I really don't have time to do. So setting boundaries are key for yourself as a person, and then of course as a teacher, and then setting boundaries with like parents, your team, your coworkers, or things that you are willing to do, things which you're not willing to do. Of course you can't budget your contracted responsibilities, but other things that we're being asked to do that don't necessarily fall in our job title or category, just be hesitant with that. And if you have room on your plate to accept it, by all means, but if you don't, just say no. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to comment down below, what are some teacher routines that you would like to do in your classroom? How do you implement balancing your personal life with your teacher life? I would love to talk to you guys down below about that. And don't forget to create a great day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.